Hey there, it's Dr. Nicole Johnson Luck with another episode of Conversations with Source. In this podcast episode, we talk to Source about how to have the life that fits us. And what I mean by that is coming into the realization of being able to attract the total life that you want, that life that feels like it's got room for you, that you're evolving within it, and that every aspect is coming to you. This came up to me as I was doing some journaling after a good meditation session and just realized that I'd been focusing on one aspect of my life and then the next and the next. And after a while, it starts to feel a little boring and frustrating, and because that's all you're focused upon. And I came into this switch of my perspective about I'm ready just to attract in that life that feels good, all of it. And that just tuning myself up to a life that fits me and has room to grow in it. And I really felt a sense of ease as I was going into that. So it kind of spawned the question about letting go of that individual focus and efforting, and as we use the understanding of being a vibration that we want to be and attracting more of that to us. So I hope you enjoy what you are about to hear and are able to take away some valuable information that you can use for yourself. As always, we appreciate your support by following us on Instagram at Conversations with Source, as well as following us on whatever podcast provider you use. So we are currently now on Amazon Music because they're new out. Woo! As well as Google Podcasts and Spotify and iTunes. So wherever you get your podcast, hopefully it's one of those, and you can go follow us and stay tuned for our weekly updates. Hope you guys are all having a great Friday and looking forward to much, much more. Hope you enjoy what you're about to hear.
I think we're going to start on the idea of efforting, and I think it ties into a question that Nicole had, and maybe just for a little more clarification on this as well. So, the idea of efforting into life, trying to do things to feel, I guess to feel good about life or to feel good about the things you're doing, and that efforting feels like you get locked in and having to put too much effort on one individual thing as opposed to, kind of the broad spectrum, the broad scope of having everything come to you or everything be there for you or everything manifest for you. The shift that she realized she was having was moving away from that specific efforting herself into pieces of life. And the shift that she had was the realization of having life and everything that is manifesting and is coming and is there, that life comes to you as opposed to you trying to fit into a life. And I guess for me and what she was asking too is the kind of clarification on how do we continue to do that where, not through our effort we're trying to fit into something, but who we are vibrationally, where we are at, how does that help us and continue to manifest those things to come into us, that life to come into us?
We would say that your desires are always flowing into you. They're always coming into you. And the life that you are seeking is the experience of those desires. The life that you are seeking is the experience of those desires coming into a place where you can not only feel them, but touch them. And when we say feel them, emotionally feel them. But you can also touch them, experience them, live in them, drive them, taste them, whatever it is that you are wanting to feel from it. And while we say that in order to focus upon these things and bring them into you, you focus on the feeling of it. And that should be enough for you. Should's not the right word. What we mean is when you are at the point where that feels like it is enough, you aren't demanding it to come into you, that is usually in the sweet spot where things easily flow into you, or you evolve your desire. But what happens is you get frustrated, realizing or not realizing really. You get frustrated with your current reality because you don't see the physical things around you changing. And part of the problem with that is you're not feeling the evolution of your own personal energy. And when you come to master the law of attraction, which is really about mastering your own vibrational energy and your own vibrational stance and position within this world, you are understanding that it's really about an evolution of your energy, a fine-tuning of your energy, being aware that of energy that is flowing to you and through you and calling you and sparking new desires within you, and such following impulses that allow you to go to bookstores, look at movies to watch that inspire you to do a Google search, whatever the case may be. Something then inspires you, meaning it's an impulse you follow, to move forward on an action. And for many of you, that action may be simply tuning you into something, a new awareness of a new vibrational energy, a new vibrational essence for you to tune to. And in that tuning, the manifestation isn't the complete change of, let's say, the props in your life, meaning the house you live, and the address that you call home, and the clothes you wear, and the money in the bank account. The change is in your vibrational essence. And when you first start this work in the law of attraction, most of you who are coming to it, or many of you who are coming to it, are in the realm of a significant amount of resistance, who are used to having to effort and work for it. And as you start to do the things that we suggest, meaning the meditation, the getting happy, doing things that feel good to you, and you are releasing the resistance, well, you suddenly find that a lot of things actually physically manifest into you because that is what you are focused upon. It is the wanting of those things, because you have associated your happiness with, I will feel better when I have that thing in my life. And as you evolve in this work, and many of you who don't consciously do this work but have lived enough life to escalate yourself or evolve yourself through an emotional experience, have come to find that when you make more money and then you allow yourself to spend that money, you let in some joy and excitement and it feels good, but that's temporary. And those things, the joy of that can get old after a while. And in the beginning, it can feel very satisfying to buy those things and experience those things. But as you evolve, that satisfaction doesn't last as long. And the reason it doesn't last as long is because you vibrationally are not quite getting the high you were once getting, meaning when you had held yourself apart with such significant resistance, when you had held yourself in a place of lack and wanting for such a long time, that the juice, the joy you experience from releasing that resistance and allowing all these things to manifest is exuberant. It's like being so incredibly hungry and then finding a 7-Eleven and you'll eat any Twinkie and it sounds so good to you and the Twinkie just tastes delicious. But as you say, I don't really want to keep myself there in that state of hunger, I'm going to allow myself not to get as hungry. And so I go back and forth, but Instead of now the 7-Eleven, I want something a little bit better. So now I want a cheeseburger from McDonald's. And then on you go, where you're not letting yourself get as hungry, and now you're more scheduled about how you do things. Now you're more, we don't want to say disciplined. You are more aware and you're more diligent about not letting yourself get hungry. But you've also started to realize, I don't just want to consume food, I want to have an experience with this food. And so now I want to eat food that feels good to me. So thus, through your evolution, you become more and more selective about what it is that you are wanting, and more selective and more selective. And so on you go, allowing yourself to experience this evolution, this range of eating, so to speak, until you have come to a point where you have dined in 5-star restaurants and eaten beautiful, sumptuously created meals from the most skilled chefs. And in essence, it feels like, yeah, I've done it all. There's just something that's not juicing me up. And when you get to that point, you realize that it's not just about the food. That's when you want to go from just eating the food to owning the restaurant. You want to be the one who creates that experience for others who are on their path. And so when we take this back to your manifesting experience, you've put a lot of work into focusing on manifesting these individual things and learning how to do that and training how to do that, and such that your focus has been about focusing and almost, for many of you, efforting that focus into beings to say, to prove to yourself, not only can I do this, but this is how I live my life. This is how you should live your life. Of that I can manifest these things into my world. But as you go along, you reach a point where you become aware of, I know I can manifest that. But it's not lighting me up. And I'm not enjoying trying to bring that in and bring this in and bring that in. It is very similar to the movies in which they show the master martial arts person living high up on a mountain who accepts one student a year and seems to do nothing themselves. And it's because they know how to do what they're doing so well that they really don't need to. And so they spend most of their time being with themselves. Because that is the true joy, is being with yourself, connecting with yourself, with your source energy being in you, your inner being. That is what you are all looking for, is that deepening of that connection. And we're not saying that this isn't a world in which you came down here to manifest things. But as you go along in your evolution, it stops being about the scorecard you're keeping of, did I manifest that card and that money in my bank account and that outfit and that relationship and all of that. You come to a point of understanding, I know how to do this. I don't need to focus on each of these areas. I now want to relinquish the control and relinquish the effort and allow myself vibrationally to say, I know that I am ready for a life that does fit me. Meaning, I don't need to hammer it into place because I know what I am doing. And yes, there are going to be times with new experiences and where I'm going to need to sharpen my focus and do some vibrational upkeep. But I'm at a point now where I can trust myself and trust my experience and my expertise in my vibrational essence, in understanding how this world works with the law of attraction, with a reality that matches my vibration. And I trust that I am aware enough to pay attention to when my vibration is a mismatch to my reality, or rather, my reality is reflecting that my vibration isn't where I want it to be. We can say that better. I trust that in this place of expertise and my knowledge of how the universe works and my trust in how the universe works, that I have proven to myself enough times that the law of attraction is always working and on my side, so to speak, that it is always bringing into me a match to my vibration. And so thus I trust that as I am vibrationally aligned with what I want, with what I desire, it is always coming into me. And I no longer need to hammer it and effort into place to prove that to myself. Because I know enough now that I trust that life is bringing it into me, meaning the universe is bringing it into me because I am asking for it. I am now standing in the place of worthiness where I know that the universe can and will deliver a life that is a match to me, a life that is a match to what I have been asking for, a life that is a match to what I have been allowing. I now know that I can release the control that I was trying to feel by efforting it into place. There's a lot wrapped into that. There's a lot wrapped into it. But you effort as a way to control it in, meaning push it in. And in essence, it shuts things down a bit and feels not so good, but it is a way for you to slowly release the need to control. Because when you come to a place of understanding that the universe is truly there to support you, that the universe is truly there to love you, that the universe is truly there to give whatever it is that you are wanting, then you begin to understand that you don't need to, I must stay sharply focused on getting this money and this job and this house and this career or whatever it is. You begin to understand and allow the knowing that the universe knows better than I do. Meaning, it knows the global picture even better than I do because I am only aware of me and my world and my asking. And so I am ready to say to my concierge, the universe, this is what I want, meaning vibrationally, this is how I want it to feel. These are the essence of it, and this is what I focus upon after I meditate and I journal and I align myself and I daydream. And I enjoy the vibrational experience, and the universe says, order received. delivering it to you. And as you do that more and more, you allow the momentum to build such that more of it gets delivered to you, more of it gets delivered to you, more of it gets delivered to you, because you have relinquished the need to control it in. And so you become an easier vibrational match, an easier vibrational match, an easier vibrational match. Such that in that turning point, things seem to flow into you easier and easier and easier and easier. And as we said before, there are still going to be times of those clarifying moments where you say, I thought I wanted it this way, but really, I want to add this little finely tuned vibrational aspect. And that can be I want this kind of cheese on my cheeseburger, or I want this kind of attribute in someone I'm working with. I want this kind of project that feels this kind of way. The universe knows what you want. We as source energy know what you want. We know what you want long before you do, meaning long before you realize it, meaning become aware of it. Because when you have those clarifying moments, some of you haven't awakened yourself to become aware of what it is that you are wanting as a result of that experience. And there are times where the realization of what it is that you are wanting is a phased process and an evolution due to your own vibrational evolution. Meaning you get there and then there's a new realization, and you get there and then there's a new realization, and so on and so on and so on, until the realizations are complete from that particular experience and have completed the full asking of that desire, so that now it is part of your vibrational countenance. And now the universe can say, aha, we have your full order now. Now we can bring that all the way into you. So we would say, you get to that state, the lack of efforting state, when you come to realize that the control isn't really worth it. The control doesn't work. The control isn't needed. And that is why you effort, because you are trying to force it to happen, because you don't believe in it, and so thus you are trying to control it. And that's okay. We understand that when you get a taste of this, where you release the resistance and then you allow yourself to finally have a meal of deliciousness, of manifesting things, you want to get more of it and more of it and more of it. But we would say, just relax a little bit and allow yourself to connect with the knowing that you create your own reality, that you do in fact create your own reality, and you do manifest things in your world, and whatever you ask for, it is given. It is always, always, always given. Whatever you want, whatever you desire, and we are well aware. All of you have very, very different desires. You don't all want to be millionaires and superstars and athletes or whatever it is. Some of you just want the simple feeling of being consistently happy. And so we would say, as you allow yourself to experience the joys of your manifestation, allow yourself to relinquish control. Allow yourself to flow with the impulses and releasing the need to effort it in. And develop that connection. And then you evolve to the place where you come to understand vibrationally you are always going to be in evolution. So there are always going to be new things that you desire. And so thus, the universe will always be responding to the newness of your desires. And thus, you will always have a universe delivering to you. You also can allow yourself to get to the place where you understand and you trust that you don't have to try hard. You don't have to focus on all these different things, that you can release it over to the universe and be joyful about it and trust in the knowing that whatever you want is given to you. Whatever you are aligned with is given to you. And when you relinquish all of the micromanaging details, that is when the universe can come in and just delight you in the most joyous of ways. And it makes you feel easier about this. It makes you feel more joyous about this. Allow yourself to be joyous. Have fun. Allow the flow of joyous energy to come to you and through you, and see what kind of magical experiences happen as a result. And allow more in and more in and more. Well, I hope you enjoyed that segment. I felt like there was a lot wrapped up into it, and I really personally felt a pretty big shift with that coming through. So I found it to be really valuable, and I'm hoping that you did on some level as well. As always, if you would want to support us, you can follow us on Instagram at Conversations with Source. We also have our website at www.conversationswithsource.com. That's got more information on our journeys and other things that we have coming. If you have questions for Source, you can email them to asksource@conversationswithsource.com, and we love just bringing this content to you. We think it's extremely valuable and making life more fun, more enjoyable, and really allowing you to bring in the life that you love, that you want, that you are creating at all times. So hope you all have a great weekend, and we are looking forward to what's coming next week. As a friendly reminder, all material is copyrighted to Conversations with Source in this year of 2020, and all rights are reserved. For more information about our copyright, please go to our website at www.conversationswithsource.com. Have a great day.